Hey everybody, welcome to this special, I guess, double episode. We're filming co-filming at the same time. Is that what we're doing?
We are
Tally book
co-filming.
troubleshooting and
Fossil Fuel Fridays. In fact, do it with me real quick. Ready?
Fossil Fuel Fridays. Man, that felt real good. I kind of got a little bit of a chill. Or it might be from where
Fossil Tally Friday, Tuesday.
or the chill could have came from where we're filming today.
Where are we?
The Ector County Coliseum in Odessa, Texas. We're at my hometown. Yay!
Man, I'm super excited to meet you in person. I started following you and messing with you really once you were on David Gibson's show, and thank you, Dave, for introducing Keith to the world.
David has been a great, mentor, great helper, great, just overall guy. Like I'm actually missing, a little Vidor Locksmith. Where did he go?
He's out there on his little scooter running around his yard. That's what it looks like.
Yes, he is. Or I think he, might be in Amazon Live,
Jail.
jail, maybe something.
He did the Dave Ramsden Wood deal where you're now in social media jail.
Yes, that's possible. But I think David's smart enough to get himself out of that jail if that is the case.
You have more faith in me. Hey, so I want to do your show. Let's do yours first, okay?
So, Tally Book Troubleshooting, brought to you by Arc Energy. We process your energy. Stories about solving problems. We're the oil field. We're just not dumb rednecks. There's more to us, and I think it's our duty as guys in the oil industry to demonstrate that. So, if anybody outside the industry watches this, they could see, man, there's more to oil and gas than just fuel at the pumps. You agree?
I agree, absolutely.
And if we're starting off with my little segment, it's about challenges. What challenge did you face?
Man, so many. But luckily, I have the oil field in my fellow network to rely on to fix those challenges. But I talked to you earlier. I grew up in a small town, farming, ranching, oil field. That's what we knew in Oklahoma.
Same up in Alberta. Exact same thing. It was just colder. Where I grew up.
And hockey. We didn't have hockey. We had rattlesnakes, and it was great. I learned a lot about communications and electricity. I worked at Marconi, where we went around all over the country, installing everything we use today for communications, all the cables, the power to run everything. And at one point, my dad was like, hey, you tired of traveling? I've got a friend who has this company he's running called HB Rentals. They want to start providing their customers that live in the trailers at well sites with internet out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like,
be connected. It's not 1984 anymore.
No, I mean, gone are the days where, you could go out and put your report in once a day at the the payphone in town. Now we are blessed to drill wells, in 5 days, and everybody is collecting data as the well is being, drilled. So, and on with it, remote well site communications. I signed up quickly. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to be part of, that bringing data for what we do to, to the offices for the engineers to look at. And I went out one night, middle of nowhere, Wyoming, -30. In the mountains, and try to set up internet for the company man, directional MWD. Everybody out there wants everything now. Love that. The problem was, once I got the dish pointed and listening to the signal, everything's dialed in, but nothing is happening on the internet side. Something is wrong with that box in his house, and it's not getting the internet to him.
And this is right at the start of the job, correct? This is okay, where everybody's getting set up, power, all the utilities, everything's just coming and going, and you're among the big, dents, as it would. Okay,
yeah, the rig's moving in, the camp's moving in, and I'm out there in the middle of the location setting this up. I'm out there, and the internet's not working. The company man, luckily, came to say something. He walks out of his trailer and said, "Man, I'm getting electrocuted every time I touch anything metal in this house." I was like, "Oh, well, there we go. Let's start, fishing back on that." Luckily, with my electrical background, I took my amp meter and started testing everything. Sure enough, everything, that whole camp was hot. And slowly but surely, we took off each house from power, plugged it back in, changed the plugs. The SCR house is what we ended up going, okay, something is, everything's okay on this side of the camp, but there's only 3,000 things plugged into it. We'll figure it out. The HB rental guys always set up the power on the camp side. The rig hand set it up on the other side. Somewhere along the way, we thought, okay, well, maybe they put the plug in wrong. The hot's on the ground's on the hot.
Something's wired wrong. Okay.
Something, we hope. And we eventually, changed all that out. And I'm still watching metal steps. Everybody out there, if you haven't been to a camp, out in the well site, the steps, up to the company man's house, usually metal. And you touch that doorknob, you ground yourself. I love electrocuting myself. I do it all the time. I do it at home on my wife's projects. I do it every day. electrocuted myself on this light bulb earlier, just touching that fan.
I saw that. That was pretty good. Ever since
Somehow.
the farm and electric fences, I have learned very well to avoid electrocution.
Boys got to learn to go somewhere. Might as well be an electrical fence on a dare. Yeah. The funniest thing was after we changed everything out, we ended up finally pulling out the cables from across the way. We're like, let's just start changing out the electrical cords. There's something. It's freezing. It's the middle of the night. It's like 4 a.m. Everybody's frozen. We need power.
Everyone's upset, desperate for a solution at this point.
And we found, finally, there was this little cut in one of the house cables. And with all that movement out there, I mean, there's melt from the snow and ice. It's inside that tube that runs along the location so that you can have all your MWD directional. Everything from the campsite goes over the rig site. The rig runs, everything. All the power generation comes from the rig. And inevitably, that little cut changed the course of the day. And luckily, all of the hands that were out there. That's what your show is about. That tally book troubleshooting is about. It's usually not just one person. It's a team of people that come together to solve our problems.
Everybody faces these kind of problems day in, day out, and there's no school, there's no handbook that says, oh, problem A is definitely caused by solution A. It's always the small nicks of wires that you got to find. It's finding the right person, who's had that 40 years, or maybe it's even only 5 years of experience. But somebody probably has run into it, and if not, we got to come up with our own solutions.
All right. Well, now we're going to do my show. We're stopping here. And right now, look, we're on Fossil Fuel Fridays. Watch this. This is Keith. No, don't stop yours. We're keeping going. You want yours too, don't you?
Well, I don't know how long I can upload.
We'll see.
For.
10 minutes.
10 minutes is the max, okay? Well,
so my show is about you. How'd you get in oil and gas?
Well, probably the exact same way you did. You said you grew up on a farm, right? Dad, oil and gas. So up in Alberta, that's how I got started. My father was a big farmer. And in Canada, you can imagine, during the winter, there's not a whole lot of farming to be done. So he hauled rigs, and he had a winch tractor, and he moved rigs and tanks, and he also did a little bit of ice road trucking as well.
Wow.
Up there. Yep.
Seen the show. Super cool.
And a lot of good stories, so I grew up around it. I actually started and went to school for civil engineering, was going to build roads, and did that, worked my way up with a little bit of an engineering firm, and the hours were the same as the oil field, but the money just wasn't the same. And Slumber came a knocking one day, and I was like, what do I got to lose? And growing up in Canada, I liked, Alberta is probably the Texas of Canada.
The Texas of Canada.
It's all oil and gas, farms, big lifted trucks, that kind of stuff. The only real difference is extreme hot in Texas, extreme cold in Alberta, and love our hockey up in Alberta, and you love your football down in Texas. So switch those kind of things out. Everything else is the same. So the people real good, down home, and I always liked football a little bit more than hockey, so I always figured I'd end up in Texas, and sure enough, here I am.
So glad you're here, and I got to meet you in person. Tell me just a little bit about Arc Energy before I let you get out of here.
Arc Energy manufactures, reconditions, rents, services, and even buys process equipment. So anything that separates oil and gas, cleans up H2S, that sort of stuff, dehydration, takes water out of gas, that sort of stuff.
All in the Permian Basin or any other places?
All over the world, actually. We got places in Elk City, Oklahoma, manufacturing plant here in Midland, one in Lafayette, one in Corpus Christi, one in Egypt, and one in Peru, actually. So pretty decent outfit.
I want to get hired there and go travel with you. We could go eat all the things in Peru.
Hey, I'm sure Jason Arsenault would love to meet you. So he's a great guy.
Keith and I love what we do. If you're watching this, it's his equipment, not mine this time.
I usually record these episodes with my phone, and I've never had any problem up until today. We've tried recording.
It's me.
And there's some sort of setting where if we wave our arm or gesture the wrong way, my camera shuts off. And I have no idea. I went in the settings, I turned everything off, but it's already stopped like 3 or 4 times.
That's
so
fine.
If you're wondering what's going on, why this is so weird and amateurish, it's me. It's my equipment.
Okay. So you heard this here from him. That's the truth. The Permian Basin International Oil and Gas Show is going to be here in a couple weeks.
October 19th, 20th, and 21st.
So please sign up to come and sponsor, put a booth in, and man, just come enjoy everybody. You'll see us walking around and putting these microphones in your faces for good reason, because you deserve to be known in what you do. It's pretty cool that the oil and gas contributes so much to the world. So I hope you're proud of yourself.
And it's been about 2 years since the last show, 2018, 3 years. So good things come to those who wait.
There we go. Like you, I got to finally meet you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
It's good to meet you.
Let's hug it out. That's it, everybody. Take care. God bless. Tally book.